I was unprepared in all the ways that every new mother is unprepared. I had no idea about the profuse amount of bodily fluids involved. I did not know how to breastfeed, and quite frankly wasn't sure I wanted to, and I had no concept of how tired a person can actually be, right? Anybody with me? Doesn't matter how long it's been, does it? You can always remember. You could always remember that. You know, most of all, I didn't take to motherhood in the way that I thought I would. My dad is one of 7 children. My mom is the older sister of 2. I knew I wanted to be a mom my whole life. And suddenly I had this baby, and I did not gaze into his eyes and feel crazy love and peace. I felt crazy, but absolutely no peace. I did not instinctively know how to calm him, and I felt totally and completely inadequate. And I would later find out that I actually was suffering from postpartum depression and anxiety, which is not surprising, given my previous experiences with anxiety. But in that moment, she knew nothing about my story. She didn't know about my family trauma in my teenage years or my eating disorder or anything at all. She just looked at me and said, you know, this is one of the hardest things you're ever going to do, but it's also going to be one of the greatest things you're ever going to do. But right now, you need rest. Can I just hold your baby? And she just took my baby and she just held him. And I remember that feeling. Part of me was angry. Why was he so calm in her arms? And part of me was like, oh, I can't believe someone's willing to carry this load with me, because that's what it felt like at that moment. We didn't know anything about each other. Over the next 10 years, I got to know a lot more about Trisha's story. And that's her story to tell, it's not mine. But what I can tell you is, that is a girl with grit. You talk about trudging through mud and muck. She has had her share of mud and muck. But she is filled with more grace than anybody I know because of that. She's my very best friend. She's now the godmother of one of my twins. And she inspires me to be the woman that she was for me in that moment. It's experiencing grace from people like Cara and Haley and Trisha. It's what changed me. Very honestly, it changed me to my very core. It brought me closer to God. It brought me closer to my children, closer to my husband. And it's what led me to ultimately found an organization called Richmond Moms Blog. This is a local organization that aims to inspire and encourage moms to embrace the journey of motherhood